Hi, today I want to show you a plugin that is going to help you keep your site safe and also prevent the hackers from getting inside into it. This plugin is completely free, however, there is a premium version available of it. The name of this plugin is Avoid.mp4 and this plugin is considered to be one of the best plugins when it comes to security in WordPress. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to install this plugin. So I'm gonna just go over to the plugins section and click on add new. Here I'm gonna search for the plugin, and in this case I already know the name, so I'm gonna just type in Avoid.mp4 and hit enter, and let's see what it brings back. Alright, so here's the plugin I was talking about. Just as always, make sure you check the amount of reviews, how many users are actually using it on their site, and in this case it is over 1 million active installs, which is really great. The plugin has 5 stars out of 5 possible. It was updated 1 month ago, and it is also compatible with your version of the WordPress, or mine in this case. Anyway, so this plugin is great. We already knew that, but just make sure you always check those parameters before you hit the install now button. Alright, so let's click on install and wait for the plugin to be installed on our site. And just as always, this usually takes few seconds, so the plugin has been downloaded, unpacked, installed, and the last thing we need to do is to click on activate plugin. Alright, just as always, depending on the plugin, it will be installed in the different section of your WordPress dashboard. However, in this case, this plugin has actually installed itself in the main section of the left navbar. So if we hover over WordFence, we will see that there are actually several different subsections of this plugin. So let's start with the first one, which is scan. So let me click on this one. And the first thing I wanted to do is to actually click on start a WordFence scan. I'm not gonna do this at the moment because this can actually take up to 10 to 50 minutes. Sometimes I've even been waiting for hours to have it finished. So I'm not gonna just click on that button and stand here and wait it for to finish. Alright, so you can see here that basically we have not run any scans, so there is nothing to report yet. So let's move to the live traffic and see how it looks like. Here basically the WordFence is going to list every user that comes to your site. So if I browse to the socket training wizard, my information should appear here. So I'm gonna just browse to the socket training wizard or just hit refresh and see what happens. So let's test the plugin and see if it actually holds what it promises. So let's back to this and let's click on refresh here. So I'm gonna just click on live traffic again and see if nothing to report yet. Alright, let's try with enable auto update and see if anything happens. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna copy paste this. So let's see what happens if I try a different browser. Alright, so let's go back to the plugin and see if anything has happened. Alright, there, now we see it. So basically you can see that I'm living in a town called Norrköping. It's in Sweden. I'm still having the site up in the browser, so you can see that it is counting how long I'm staying on the site, my IP number. You can also see that I can block this IP. So if you have visitors that are constantly, for example, spamming your site, you can block this IP. However, in my experience, this will not help you because spammers are really good at what they are doing. So basically they will just came up with a different IP and start to spam your site again. But anyway, you can do that just for the sake of it. You can also see that I am using the Safari browser and I am also on a Mac at the moment. So there are other tabs to play around with this as well. I'm not gonna cover those because I let it over to you to explore those and check out them, but basically what you need is available here in the All Hits tab. Next we have the performance setup. So if we click on this one, and here you can see that you can actually enable caching. Caching is basically a way of saving the information of the site locally on users' computers. I'm not gonna touch this because I don't consider it being necessary to change in this case, because you, as I said, your site is going to be completely fresh and you will barely have any visitors. However, once you start to gain traction on your site and you receive at least 100 unique visitors per day, you can enable the 2 to 3 times speed increase caching. You can also play with the WordFence Falcon engine, which is 30 to 50 times speed increase. But I must warn you, this can cause a lot of issues on your site, and use it on your own risk. Anyway, let's move to the next one, which is blocked IPs. In this section, we can actually manually block IP addresses. And just as I said, if someone, for example, spams your site, you can try to block that IP and see if that helps. However, in my experience, the spammers are just going to generate another IP with some kind of program that they are using and just keep spamming your site. So you can see that we have also a tab where the IPs that are locked out from login. So basically you are locking out a specific IP to reach your WP admin dashboard, and also IPs you will recently throttle for accessing the site too frequently. So if you see an IP trying to access your site too often, you can also block it. Alright, so next to the password audit, here you can see that the password auditing is actually only available to premium members, so we can just skip this one. Trust me, you don't need it at this moment. You have also cell phone sign-in, which is also a premium feature and not necessary in this moment. You have country blocking, which is also a premium feature. You have scan schedule, which is also a premium feature. Okay, yeah. I know what you think. Is there anything that is free in this plugin? But trust me, you have everything you need to keep your site equally safe as Fort Knox. You have also the whois lookup, and fortunately this one is free. So you can basically type in a domain name here, and if the user has not set the domain to private or hidden information, you can basically see who owns the domain. And there is also a section called advanced blocking, which is just as it sounds, an advanced way of blocking visitors. And the last one is the options. So here you can see your WordFence AP key. AP stands for Application Programming Interface, and this is some kind of random generated number combined with some letters as well. You can also see that you're using a free version of WordFence. There's also the basic options, and I'm not gonna cover all those options because my advice to you is that you leave this as it is, because this plugin has already been optimized and over 1 million users are actually having it installed on their site, and you bet that the developers have spent a lot of time testing the most optimal options that should be enabled per fold. So I'm gonna just leave this as it is and say goodbye for this lecture and see you in the next one. Stay tuned.